Hello and welcome to the Keiwear Show, where we talk about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. I am your host, Keisha Mayo, and we have a great show for you on today. Today we have my friend, Corey Mccallum. He's an educator, he's a coach, and he's an executive director of a nonprofit organization. Welcome to the show, Corey. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation, and please introduce yourself to my viewers.
Hello, Coach Corey Mccallum, originally from New York, currently residing in Arizona.
And Corey, I'm just so happy you are here. You know, we go way back. I mean, elementary school, like way back, and I just thank God for the person, the man that you have become. You always had a great heart. And I just thank God that He connected us even years ago. And look, so many years later, we're not going to tell how many years, but so
Right.
many years later, we're still connected. But we're going to just start from the beginning. How was your upbringing?
My upbringing was a very interesting one. Um, Grew up in the hood. Um, didn't see much love. Uh, Saw a lot of unfortunately abuse and things of that nature. So
Mhm.
um, it was trying, but then the love did come. There was some love, and that came from like your friends, man,
Right,
the block, and the people who
right.
lived on the block, and you were
Hmm.
excited to go to school so you can eat food and eat lunch and
Right.
breakfast and things like that. So we had some loving teachers also. Keisha and
Hmm.
I went to elementary school, as she made mention, and so there was some
Hmm.
exposure to love, but not as much as
Hmm.
I would have liked, but we made it through though.
Yes, 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 we did. But Corey, as you got older, I mean, who were your role models when you got older? Who did you look up to? There had to be somebody. Did you have a mentor?
I did. And my first mentor, well, technical mentor,
Hmm.
was once I came out here to Arizona. But
Hmm.
prior to that, I did have like big bros in the hood that would talk to you about advancement and things of that nature, and what do you want to do, and challenge you to think. Because at one time, as a youngster, you thought that the hood was all you were gonna ever see or ever be a part of. And fortunately, we had other individuals who, again, challenged us to think outside the box. And I had a young man by the name of Gary Sanders
Hmm.
that exhibited all of that. He demonstrated all of that. So I pay homage to him for letting me see more than I was exposed to, if you will.
Right. So what made you go into education? Out of
Man,
everything you could have,
I,
went into, why
yeah,
education?
that was interesting. Uh, So I left New York. I think I really believe I needed to do that. I really believe God made sure that there was a design for me to do so, and came out here and was like, man, what I'm gonna do? So because all I knew was hood. All I
Right.
knew was, I remember getting the Social Security, the Social Security um, document, and on it for like 12 years it had zeros. So I wasn't much of a worker. So came out here and started off, I brought New York with me. We just figured out a
Amazing,
way how
Jenny.
to hustle, and one day I decided to get a job. Yeah, finally I got a job, and I was working in a hotel business,
Hmm.
and met this young lady at the time, during one of the banquets that I was serving at.
Hmm.
And she brought it to my attention, like, hey, would you like to work with kids? And I was like, hey, wait a minute. I thought she was talking to somebody else, but she was talking to me, and I would dodge her every time I saw her, because I'm like, man, I don't have nothing to offer no kids. You know, Being from where we were from and whatever.
Right.
And then one day I took the chance. I took the leap of faith, and I went down to the district, and it
Hmm.
was history from there. Decided to go back and get some education, and
Hmm.
that's when I really realized like I had a real purpose for my life. That God had a real purpose for my life. So I decided to go back to school.
Right. And so do you feel that was your passion?
Yes, yes, because, and I believe it's my passion because of the lack that I once received
Mm-hmm.
when it came to education and love and things of that nature. So that brought about an extreme passion to give to youngsters, to the youth,
Right.
what I didn't have.
Mm-hmm. And I see you keep wiping your sweat off your face because I know that Arizona got that what 110 degrees out there.
Oh, that's easy. 110 easy. Hey, there's no hanging on corners out here.
Right. Wait, no more Tims?
Oh no, you gotta have the 10. You gotta do it.
Oh, so you're gonna have the sweaty feet, huh?
Right. But you're gonna do the Tims though in December with no
Oh,
snow.
okay. Okay, we went off track for a minute because I see you keep wiping your face because I'm hot too though. But listen, so I know you're currently a college high school counselor, and I think you're also what are you a career high school counselor, right? Tell
Correct.
us about that. Like, what do you actually do in that position?
Wow, that's a great question. So I've been an educator for 24 years and then transferred over into this realm, which was my first year was last year. And my job is to help our young people understand the significance of college or further education, because it doesn't have to be college,
Mm-hmm.
but understand that they can receive that, they can achieve those things. So I present different scholarship opportunities for them, I advocate
Mm-hmm.
for them during the financial aid process. I'm also a basketball coach, so
Right.
it kind of coincides. So I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to get my athletes to go play at the next level. So now I do the same for just the whole entire campus,
Mm-hmm.
for seniors and juniors. So
Mm-hmm.
it's an honor and a privilege to be able to do that.
Yes, and I read I believe somewhere on the website we're gonna get into your organization, but how the class of 2023 earned $7 million in scholarships. I mean,
Yes,
that's a blessing in itself.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So prior to me getting there, so I don't want to talk about prior. I just want to talk about it was $1 million more this
Mm-hmm.
first semester or first school year that I contributed there. So I did have a significant role in that process. I'm very proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
But now I believe I can do 10 million. So that's what I
Right.
want to do. And
I mean, you're doing so many great things. I can see you doing it.
thank you. That's where I'm
Yeah.
at.
Uh-huh. And how long were you in education?
Approximately 25 years.
25 years, Corey.
Yes. So
Uh,
that means in
mhm.
5 years, I can retire.
Now, with that being said, you're originally from New York. You still kind of New Yorkish, right?
Right.
That didn't leave you at all. What was it that made you relocate to Arizona? Like, when I think of Arizona, that's not like, you know what? I think I want to go out there. Like, what made you say Arizona? Let me go out there.
So that's a you hitting it today. I don't know, Keith. You must be have some coffee or something over there. But
You're so
um,
silly.
hey, I actually my son was born in Arizona. He was conceived in New York, but he
Mm-hmm.
was born in Arizona, and I used Arizona as a way to escape.
Oh, okay.
God put it on my heart. I used to be on the corner and I used to look up in the sky and see planes. I've never been on a plane prior to coming to here. I've never been
Mm-hmm.
on a plane, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would look up at the sky and be like, man, I'm gonna get on this plane one day. And
Mm-hmm.
I escaped some unfortunate situation that was going on out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I had to relocate. There was God had put it on my heart to
Mm-hmm.
do so, and He made it possible for me to do so. So I took full
Mm-hmm.
advantage of it and came to Arizona.
Right. Now, would you ever consider moving back to New York, or that's it? You just gonna stay out there?
Absolutely not.
And I know you married to a beautiful young lady, and you have your two children, your son and your daughter. Did any of your children have a desire to go into education, as want to be like their dad?
And my son, definitely. My son is actually he is currently a choreographer. So what he does is he choreographs music and dance. So he
Oh,
actually teaches dance at different various studios in Arizona. So I'm pretty proud of the youngster. He's
oh
making something
yeah.
happen for himself.
Oh, that's nice. So now let's get into your organization, which is called Fellowship, which you are the executive director, and is a nonprofit organization. Let's get into that. Tell us a little bit about that organization. And is it a Christian based organization?
So I will honor your questions. So the first answer to that is we are a nonprofit organization that serves the community.
Mhm,
So we do things like food drives. We go out and feed the homeless. We also furnish homes or apartments for those who are coming out of incarceration and things of that nature. So, and another thing we do is we really help the youth. So we have these opportunities to go feed the homeless and food drives and clothes drives and
oh, that's
toys drive, but it's driven by young people,
mm-hmm,
which is a
mm-hmm,
little different. So,
mm-hmm,
but my goal is to teach young people how to give, and that it's not about them, that you exist to serve. So I
right.
decided to go into that, created that, and it's been a blessing. We have a camp going on next week, a basketball camp that I serve
Mm-hmm,
probably about 80 student or 80 young kids from
mm-hmm,
ages of 8 to 17, and they get to play basketball and learn basketball for 4 days. So that's
mm-hmm.
just one of our outreaches um, that we love to do, and it's been a blessing.
And that's awesome because I also saw where y'all were washing cars as well. You know,
Absolutely,
going
we
out
we
there.
out there we out there serving the community in any way we
Yes,
can.
yes. I'm so proud
Um,
of you. You don't even know. I mean, going
Thank
back to the,
you.
book bag.
Right? Yeah, I used to carry Keisha's book bag. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Yep, sixth grade.
All right.
Such a gentleman.
Okay. But now, Corey, how do you handle the children? Because I know they look up to you. And like you said, you deal with, helping those that are less fortunate. Do any of those children come to you seeking help? Do they open up to you? Do they feel comfortable enough to say, Mr. Mccallum, I'm going through this? How do you deal with that?
Wow, that's awesome. Um, I used to actually be a behavior coach, so I used to deal with students with um different types of uh I would say, we had students that were challenged, and some of our
Mhm.
students were mentally challenged, and from the lights of bipolar to schizophrenic,
Wow.
schizophrenia, uh, yeah, personality disorders, and these were high
Wow.
school students.
Uh-huh.
And so I used to counsel these individuals. I think my vibe and my energy is what allows them to open up. I think they're
Mhm.
attracted to authenticity, and
Uh-huh.
that's what I bring whenever I'm in a conversation, because I recognize that the moment is what's the is most important. So,
Right.
I'm young looking. I'm an OG, but
Yeah.
they tend to be like, oh, this coach is hip. That's what they say.
Right.
Mr. Mccallum is hip. So I come through with the Timbs and the Yankee hat, and they're like, oh, this
Uh-huh.
cat is he's not just just trying to provide us just structure. He's actually been where we are currently.
Right.
So
Uh-huh.
I always exhibit that. I always demonstrate that, and always let them know. And just like Jesus did, he showed the holes in his hands. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important. Anytime you want to minister or motivate someone, they have to see that you kind of know what you're talking about.
Right, right. But look, don't forget you wear them suits too, so you be sharp as ever, man. Don't forget that now. Best dress, Corey. I mean, fly all the time.
You know, you know what I say is because my students say that they always say, Coach McCallum or Mr. McCallum, like, how do you? Why is it you're so fly, right? And I say, well, these are pajamas. I wake up like this, so I don't know. Like, I don't put much effort into them.
Right. Well, Corey, now how important is it for the young boys to know, for them to have a positive role model in their lives? How important is that?
Uh, that's significant. That has the ability to change the trajectory of their life. Like, I tell them all the time, I'm almost gonna be 53 years old, and
Mm-hmm.
I have a mentor. I have individuals who hold me accountable, and that's what a mentor really does, or
Mm-hmm.
should do, is
Mm-hmm.
hold you accountable, not lecture you, but hold you accountable for anything that you may be, you know, possibly involved in or things of that nature. So that's what I do. I get counsel from men who I trust,
Mm-hmm.
and I also explain the importance to the young men, how to
Mm-hmm.
have one of those people in your life, and it will deeply bless your life.
Right. And now we talk about the young, boys, but y'all also serve females as well, the young girls. So, tell us about that.
You know, I'ma be 1,000%. I love the young brothers. I love them, but the
Mm-hmm.
girls, that's another level, because a lot of our girls don't have father figures.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
they look to me
Right.
as their father.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that is a title
Mm-hmm.
that I don't take lightly.
Right.
And I don't think any man should. And these young ladies are looking to me as to who they want to one day, or type of person they want to marry someday or
Right.
date someday. So it's very, very important that I carry
Mm-hmm.
myself as a father
Mm-hmm.
mentor
Right.
at all times to those young ladies.
Right. And do you have those talks with them, about
Yes, we
you do?
yeah, those talks can go. They can go one way or the other. They can be emotional 1 minute and emotional the second minute. So,
Uh-huh.
I do have those sincere conversations. We have to be very careful
Uh-huh.
when having those conversations
Mm-hmm.
with young ladies, because that thing can be, turned in a different direction. So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever meet with a young lady by herself.
That's
I'm
good.
very cautious and cognizant of society,
Mm-hmm.
um, and some of its issues.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to young ladies, we have pretty in-depth conversations. And
Mm-hmm.
then I also understand the importance of having someone other than myself
Mm-hmm.
speak life into them. So if
Oh.
it's too far past my
Mm-hmm.
my scale or my
Mm-hmm.
capacity, I know how to get someone else involved. I don't try to keep them all for myself. So
Right. Well, that's awesome, Corey. And how does it make you feel? Knowing that you changed the lives of so many children. Because I see your videos where, I mean, these kids, really love you and they look up to you, and you even have, the young boys that are taller than you. You look like this short little guy, and they up here. Well, how does that make you feel knowing you changed so many people's lives?
it makes me feel really good.
Mm,
Um, but I understand that there's more.
mm,
There's more to me. I understand that. I know there's more that I can do. So
mm,
I'm never complacent. Like I recognize it and I reflect. I
mm.
reflect and I'm like, oh, this was a good thing. And but then there's also the other side when you have to speak at
Mhm.
a young man's eulogy.
Oh,
See,
okay.
so there's another side to this thing. So fortunately, my wins are much greater than my L's, than my losses.
Mm-hmm.
But the losses were extremely impactful to my life,
Mm-hmm.
so it makes me go harder. because I
Mhm.
know what it is to talk to a young man who ingested um, an opioid and is on life support, and his mom wants me to have a conversation with him, not even a conversation, but wants me to talk to him while
Mhm.
he is on his last breath at 17 years of age. So
Wow.
this brings a big weight. Like, so I don't
Mhm.
want people to think, oh, you know what, I want to do this, because you really can, but
Mhm.
understand that there's a balance to this thing.
Right.
And man, it's, yeah, so I just thought about this young
Mhm.
man that I just recently lost, and it was
Right.
extremely tough. So
Yeah, and I saw where you said, you really tried to help him. I saw that. So I mean, just thank God you was there for him the time you was. You tried your best. It wasn't like you just didn't do anything. You tried. But certain things happen and it's out of your control. But you tried.
absolutely, that's what helps me get through,
Right.
Keisha. So I thank you for that question, because that was pretty powerful.
Yeah. And I know you're also a motivational speaker.
Yes.
Have you have you ever been fearful of speaking in front of others? Which I know the answer to, but hey, I'm interviewing you for the people who don't know you.
Well, I don't know how to answer that. I was always pretty boisterous.
Mhm.
Um, I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn like who's my audience and things of that nature. But I walk into those situations, I love them. Like it,
Uh-huh.
I get excited when I know I'm going to speak to 1,000 people, 5,000 people. I get there's a high, and I don't do drugs, but there's a high.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
let me put that disclaimer out there. But
Uh-huh.
there's a high, that like adrenaline rush,
Mm-hmm.
because I know that God has me here for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
and one of those reasons is to motivate individuals and to help them reach whatever potential that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So I go so hard at it. So I love it.
Right. And Corey, what mark do you want to make in life?
Mm. I wanna continue to create a legacy,
Mm-hmm.
um, and which deals with giving to others. Um, I want people who I'm around, who I deal with, especially the youngsters. I want them to grow up giving of themselves, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the mark I want to leave. That they say, "Hey, remember Coach Mccallum? He was a giver.
Mm-hmm.
He was a giver to people." So
And so you teach your children to also give back as well.
that's
Do you
so
want
important.
them to go out there with you while you out there serving?
I do. I actually do. And that's mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
And they're adults now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, hey, this is you. I always tell them this. I say, you only have to give.
Mm-hmm.
You only have what you have to give it away. And I know
Mm-hmm.
it sounds crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the truth. God
Mm-hmm.
has only allowed you to have what you have to utilize it and give it to someone other than yourself. So then they're like, oh, okay, Dad, let's go.
So Corey, where you get this drive from? I mean, you just go after it. You know what you want. You know what you want to accomplish, and you go after it. Where do you get that drive from?
Mm. The importance of saving lives,
Mm-hmm.
like I said earlier on in the show, like you have the chance to change the trajectory of someone's life. Like that's not something to play with. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my drive. My drive is to save these lives, and get them to be successful people, like productive people.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about the successful part. Productive, like what, like give them something to look forward to. So that's my drive, because I want to duplicate myself.
Right. So
That's
Corey, how can people find, information about fellowship? If somebody wants to look into it, because we all have family all over the world. You in Arizona, but hey, I know people in Arizona. Look, I know you. right?
Yeah.
You never know. Somebody may want to, get involved. How can they get in contact with you?
Go to Fellowship Phoenix, spelled out just the way I said it. Fellowshipphoenix.com is the easiest way. And there's a website. You can contact me. You can email me through that website, and I will definitely respond to any questions you have. I'm glad you mentioned that there are people all over the world, all over the country, because there are people who help support the vision
Right.
all over the country. So
Right.
I'm thankful for that opportunity to do
Yeah.
such a thing, and that's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Yes, and I tell you, Corey, this has been an awesome conversation. I tell you, the 30 minutes go by so quick, but I thank you for being my special guest. And I just want to say thank you so much to my viewers for tuning in. And we encourage you to come back next week for another episode of the Keiwear Show. You can follow me on all social media platforms and on the internet. You'll find my information in the credits. We'll also have the information for fellowship and Mr. Corey Mccallum also in the credits. And we just want to remind you that Keiwear is the key to knowledge. Have a blessed day.
Hi, I'm Tootsie Williams, and you're watching The Keiwear Show.
Hi, this is Peter Wayne, and you're watching The Keiwear Show.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Gina, and we're of My BK Life, and you're watching
The Keiwear Show.